Welcome to How Our Tools Shape Us, the show where COC sits down with founders and builders to explore how the tools we choose end up shaping the way we work and live. Today, he's talking with Julian Gadea, co-founder and CEO of SalesMind AI. Julian's story runs from France to China to Bangkok, and he's built right in the middle of that fast-moving Asia tech scene. We get into what SalesMind is really solving, how they think about safety and reliability and outreach, and the tools they're using day to day. And then we zoom out to the bigger question: what happens when sales becomes truly personalized at scale? First up, Julian's origin story, from France to China and eventually Bangkok, and what pulled him into the pace of Asia.
It's about to. Well, what's up, everybody? This is George C.O.C. Samuels, and you are tuning in to our next episode of How Our Tools Shape Us, and I am here with Julian Gadea. Julian, how's it going?
Very good. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Wonderful, man, especially since I get to talk to you today. So we were just catching up a little. Julian is currently based out of Bangkok, but he has a really interesting background in history. So we are going to be talking about how tools are shaping us, and specifically through Julian's lens and experience. But let's get started maybe with your own personal story, Julian, about where you started your life, how you ended up in Asia, and then of course how you ended up founding SalesMind AI.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity of being with you today. I really appreciate that. So to share a little bit more about myself, I'm a tech guy, a nerd, as we can call it. Basically, I've been starting to program when I was a dozen of years old, like 10, 11, 12 years old, doing the first website and stuff. And then I moved in Asia for my studies. So I was in a university that allowed me to have multiple campus worldwide. And first one, I chose Guadeloupe in the Caribbean island. That wasn't a great choice, at least not to get started the career, to be honest, right? And then I moved to China, which was tremendously different, like the speed and stuff, amazing. So I fall in love with Asia. During COVID, I get out of China, so I got stuck out of China. It was really tough during COVID over there. So I end up in Thailand. So it has been almost a decade that I'm in Asia now. I came here for the study, and I fell in love with the speed and the efficiency of that region. Right, you're coming from France. Everything is so slow. The only thing we know is the strike. Here in Asia is tremendously different. So that's I'm coming from. And basically from the school background, educational background, I've been in IT, computer science, and I started my career as a product manager. So I always been in building product, digital product, right? How to bind their expertise of multiple people and put it in the hand of millions of people.
And what has been your, I guess, most interesting observation about the move between France, China, and Thailand, right? Because obviously there's a lot of cultural differences, right? And what have you kind of observed in terms of like the tech differences also between those three?
That's a really good question. I think what I see is France is not really innovative in this kind of technology compared to China and even to Thailand, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What I observe is China has been extremely well for the hardware. They seem to dominate significantly the hardware space, while the West is dominating the software. But in Thailand, they have a complete different dimension. So they're still in the process of manufacturing and everything. So they have a really different industry. But definitely China is the one that have the highest speed in terms of development.
What do you enjoy the most about being in Thailand, right, and doing business here?
I think it's a great compromise between the West and China. I'd love to get back in China, to be honest with you. That's where I want to be. But the fact that they have the great firewall is just make it impossible for me to connect with people in the US. And most of our client is in the US, in Europe, in South Africa, in Netherlands, Australia, and so on. So if I need to use a VPN, a proxy to get in touch with everyone, it just slow me down significantly. So it's a great compromise between the slow of the Europe, the hyper development of the Chinese, and here is still like an organized chaos, right?
Exactly.
Julian's journey from France through China to Thailand shaped both his worldview and his approach to business. That relentless drive he found in Asia, it's exactly what pushed him to build SalesMind AI, because he saw a problem in the sales funnel that no one was solving properly.
And what motivated you to set up SalesMind AI?
So basically nothing. We just the problem that we had to fix, right? So
Yeah.
we're in the market sphere, in the marketing services for a while,
Yeah.
and we kept identifying some segments that were working better than the others. So we started to pivot and go through the business. So doing marketing for B2B primarily, and then we identify a channel and a way to generate leads that was astonishing. So we identified that way to engage with thousands of people per day.
Yeah.
But eventually we identified that the gap was actually in the way how the lead moved down the funnel, right? It is not like I meet you today and I buy your service. No, you need to get a little bit of interest. I need to share you a little bit of stuff. I need you to trust me. I need you to move in the funnel, right? What we observe is 6 to 12 touch points, but with thousands of people, this is just not possible for a human to actually handle 1,000 people. And some people will just say no after 5 messages, and then you lost 5 minutes, right? You lost an hour and a half just to hear a no. So we identify that the AI will significantly help the human to identify the right opportunity in the sales funnel and make all the lead move effectively down or get them out.
Interesting.
With the problem clearly identified, COC asks the natural follow-up. Untitled Chapter. How does SalesMind compete in a space that's getting more crowded by the day, especially as AI lowers the bar for anyone to build their own tools?
And, there seems to be a lot of sort of automated sales, companies and cold lead gen companies. So what have you found in terms of like the audience that you focus on and just general competition, right? Especially with AI today, right? Everybody seems to be able to create their own tools.
Yeah, that's very true. I think this is why we are putting our focus on company that handle that does marketing. What the problem that we solve at the very beginning of our journey is the same problem that the companies still have without our solution. So, and in that case, you require a tool that you can rely on seriously. Like the marketing agency, they have dozen and 50 clients and so on. They like building a tool is not their expertise. So build vs buy is like, do you want to trust someone that you hire and take this kind of ownership into this product that is becoming a central piece of your ecosystem, right? If your software called outreach software do not work, the entire result that you get for your customer do not appear, right? So that's what we're seeing. Indeed, if you have only one LinkedIn account, one email, and you want to like 20 messages per day, that may not be the best option to go with us, because if you do that eventually by yourself, it will take dozens of hours, but you may end up with having something. But you will still need to maintain it. You will still need to make it evolve. When you request something, you need to do it yourself. And when it breaks, you have no one to rely on.
Yeah, interesting. And, especially, well, I'm sure you've heard about OpenCode in the ecosystem, right? And what do you think that type of solution is doing to the space right now? Do you think it's making things more complicated for people, easier? Because it seems like OpenCode is just doing the thing automatically for individuals, right? I mean, I see a lot of problems with it too. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that particular solution?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest. We are still at the very forefront of that time. And what I see is we're just so little. So the amount of people that goes to the technology and try them and actually use them, right? Because sending two prompt is something, doing some things that really produce outcome at the end of the day. It's another story, right? It's another game. So I'd say this is great that people can experience that. We haven't got anyone that tell us like, okay, you are SalesMind, okay, I can do it in my back as well. We never had anyone telling us that, because we're a very comprehensive software that does end-to-end. We're not just sending messages. There is a very comprehensive funnel. So I think it's great that we are landing into a direction where everyone can build their own tool, but I will highly be careful, because LinkedIn is not something that you can mess up with, and your account, you have only one, right?
You get banned, right? Very easily.
So we have around 15 security measures for each LinkedIn profile, the way how we handle the outreach and everything. So if you don't know that, we burned my account initially with the mistake. So we learn from that. And we build a solution that is reliable. Why people will burn their account and it's burned.
Fascinating. Okay.
From the competitive landscape, the conversation shifts to something more personal, the actual tools Julien and his team live in day to day. And this is where things get interesting, because one tool in particular has been keeping him up at night.
Let's maybe shift to the stack. So for you personally, what does your day-to-day core stack look like, right? What are the tools or apps that you find yourself using the most as of today?
The most for sure is Notion. Now the one that I can't get rid of is OpenCode.
Okay, yes.
I can't get rid of that. It's on my computer all day long. I learn how to code like thousands of lines of code per hours now. That's really stick with me, that one. Otherwise, I love Arc as well. The way how you make your brother working within your environment. I think that the two main one, and obviously Slack and Claude, right?
Yeah. Have you noticed? Well, you said that your clients, are they primarily outside of Thailand?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, have you noticed any interesting observations on the tools that your clients use compared to you and your team?
Yes, we got a very surprising one. We are seeing people that have very various and that were using CRM because we're in the sales industry, right? We deal with people that have CRM, and they tend to all get rid of HubSpot as soon as they could. They get rid of it. Go to a solution that is smaller, less expensive, and stuff like this. While in Thailand, I'm still seeing those corporate and those companies using this kind of big CRM because it just looks famous, it looks stable, so eventually you get with them. But you get stuck.
Exactly. It does surprise me in today's day and age why people still stick right with some of those larger vendors. And I mean, I guess that goes to show that like reputation still matters for humans, regardless of its functional capabilities, right?
Yes.
My gosh. Have there been any new tools that have emerged in your team stack or even your client stack that you found unique or new?
Yes, to me, I think it's OpenCode. I discovered that 3 weeks ago, and since then, I don't know if you can see it, but I barely can sleep anymore. This is crazy. This thing keeps me up all night long, and I'm like, okay, let's do one more prompt, and 3 hours later, I'm like, damn, maybe I can do another one, right? I can't get rid of that thing.
Yeah. So when you meant, is it OpenCode or OpenClaw?
OpenCode. That's different.
OpenCode. Different. Okay. So I was wondering. Okay, let me have a look. So OpenCode. I haven't even. Interesting.
I've built like dozens of applications around the ecosystem, new website. The fun fact is we hired someone 6 months ago, 8 months ago actually, and for 6 months. And the only mission that he had was to make our Webflow website beautiful. Yeah. It failed. To be honest, it failed. It's not as good as what we were expecting still now, right?
Yeah.
That's the version online today.
Yeah. I think my question was, so is OpenCode similar to Claude Code, but not, what would you say? Is it similar?
I think it's in the same space, yes. The difference is, and I never tried Claude Code, honestly. What I like with OpenCode is you can connect multiple LLMs. We have been through Google Accelerator, so we have a bunch of Google credits, so that's really helpful.
Nice. Fascinating. And so you mentioned Google Accelerator. Was that when you were in China or here in Thailand?
No, it was a few months ago, actually. 2025 now, but a few months ago we were selecting to go through their program, the Thailand and AI Leader Accelerator or something like this.
Okay, interesting. Might have to check that out too. It's pretty cool because I'm actually a big fan of Google's AI products now. Over the last 2 years, right, being in the AI space, there was a kind of a run to see which vendors would come out on top, and I think my money's on Google for obvious reasons. They don't just rely on their chat interface. They have their revenue from so many other business models within their ecosystem. But Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel similarly? Are there other tools or vendors that you're betting on in this AI race?
We were talking with my co-founder at lunch about that. Like this morning, I get an email from OpenAI that asking me, "Hey, can you please let us know why everyone is getting out of OpenAI and the usage is dropping on our side?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to help you to understand." And what I wrote is, "Claude is killing you guys. It is just insane. The capability and the quality of Claude is insane." Now, that's something different than Google, because Google, they have the ecosystem, they own the ecosystem, and they put that every single place. So,
Yes.
first of all, the amount of data they have and they ingest, it's humongous, right? It's crazy. So all the video, all the audio, they will dominate very, very fast because of YouTube, easily. In terms of research, that's still something we need to figure out. In terms of quality, Claude is, to me, at the moment, the best. In terms of Google is definitely one of the most advanced players so far. They're even integrating themselves in iPhone soon. So they're they're replacing. Yes.
Wow, I did not know about that. Okay, that's fascinating.
Julien has strong opinions on where AI is headed, and he's not shy about it. The conversation turns to the bigger picture. Which vendors are winning, and what does the future of sales actually look like from where he's standing?
What do you kind of foresee, though, for what sales will look like by the end of this year, based on what you're experiencing with AI?
So I think we have been lucky, or at least let's call ourselves like that. So we are the forefront of this industry. We are leading that industry as well, and we are defining the standard of tomorrow, this industry for tomorrow, right? So where we're seeing the industry moving toward is to have a funnel that is entirely personalized for every single person. So just a quick example of what is the thing that we're currently working on is we're working on an adaptive microsite. So basically, once we get in touch with you a few times, and this is the time for you to move in the funnel, I'm sending you the link of my website. But instead of having the corporate B2B website that have like 80 pages in average, and that you spend 40 seconds on a website too, I have one landing page that is made only for you based on all the information that I have and all the information that you already told me. So let's make it simple. If you tell me that you like the sport cars that are blue, I'm going to make you a website that only advertise the blue cars that are for sport. Your wife, your girlfriend wants a pink one, the website is going to show a pink car, right? So we're really seeing that funnel being specifically designed for you based on the information we have and what you need. If you don't need the car, I don't show you the website, right? That's the point. We need to land into a world where what is shown to you can really bring you value.
Wow. Oh, that's so fascinating, because it's true, right? A lot of people, I think, get caught up on trying to design a website for their target audience, right? But with AI, it seems like you could just have it adapted to that person with the core information that you know as your business. Interesting. And okay, so for your own current website, is that going to ship too? Is there going to be a way that when somebody lands, like the website could adapt, or it would just be, as you said, individualized pages that come after the funnel?
I wish I can tell you we are at the stage where every visitor will have their own version. We're not there yet. The first way how we will implement those layers will be in the cold outreach. We know who we're reaching out. We know what data we have about them even before we get in touch with them. What is slightly different, let's say you browse on Google or ChatGPT, you land into my website. I have no clue who you are, where do you come from, where country you are, what is your LinkedIn, and I have no information, right? But if I pick you up and I enrich your profile and I start engaging with you back and forth messages, I know exactly what to show you. So eventually, at a later stage, every single visitor inbound will have their own version. But we haven't figured out then how we can capture the right information of the visitor without being intrusive.
Yeah, my gosh, because I saw this on X as well earlier this morning, where people are essentially saying, if you're still designing a page, a website or landing page above the fold for your ideal customer, you've already lost. And I was like, whoa, what? Because they were saying that now essentially we are starting to build more for AI agents than we are for humans. And I guess, how do you feel about that? Because, there's a human part, and then of course there's the AI part. Do you think there's a danger too with this, of building too much for the AI agents,
No, because at the end of the day, what you want is the information. So when you build your website, it needs to be built for both, right? And even three parts now: SEO, AEO, and GEO, so all the LLM search engine, and the human behind. But the way how you make your website, and that's exactly what we are currently doing with OpenCode and the new version of our website, basically is we're making sure that Google understands what you're doing, the LLM identify how you provide value, and the human can read that easily. So at the end of the day, you just need to have a website that is clean. You just raise the bar in the industry. And that's quite normal, right? When no one can do a website, whatever website you have, stand out. When everyone can have a website, no website stand out. So if you don't have the right quality and the right quantity also.
Wow. That's a really good point. Okay, fascinating. And wow, it's interesting because I had all these questions, right? But I think what we're talking about is a lot more fascinating.
To wrap things up, Siosi asks Julien for the one thing every listener should know right now, and for his advice to anyone trying to navigate Asia's business scene for the first time.
So if there was something that you would want to share with listeners at this point in time, like as of today, right? Today's end of February 2026. What is one thing that you feel everybody should know at this point in time within this space?
I'd say if you don't know what is the MCP, and you're late. And start to get more interested. Go on YouTube, go everywhere. Ask ChatGPT to teach you. You can't miss that. I discovered that literally 3 weeks ago, and I'm late, and I'm super late. And I feel really disappointed of being that late, because since I observed the capabilities of that thing, this is completely insane. MCP is something that no one can miss. No one can miss.
Agreed. And if people want to get in touch with you and your team, where should they go?
Absolutely not LinkedIn. My inbox is crowded as hell.
And you're not getting banned, which is great.
but basically the autopilot and our AI talk on my behalf on LinkedIn. But just get in touch with email or WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the go-to channel for me to get in touch. I'm happy to share with everyone my WhatsApp. You can't mess much my inbox anyway.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'll get those details and I'll put it in the show notes as well. That concludes our half-an-hour session. We did pretty good on time, but I would also like to ask, right, for someone who's passing through Asia, what do you think that they should be most aware of if they're trying to get into business and are interested, in this AI space, right? Because you're somebody who has a very unique background and you've been navigating different cultures too. So what would you say to somebody who's, coming through Asia for the first time, maybe even Thailand, right, or China? What would your advice be to them?
Meet people, go event, go on business event. I primarily do business events so far. I organize some, I participate to some, and that's where I get a lot of idea, a lot of valuable connection. I don't have client in the region, so it's not my channel for sales, but the kind of people you meet there is just so great. The opportunity you get meeting those people, and obviously just you go there and you talk to no one, you don't unlock anything. Talk to as many people as you can, and that's really open doors, open opportunity, and that's really helpful also to learn, to understand better how to navigate, especially in Asia, right? You will need veterans here.
Yeah, I mean, that's so fascinating, right? That even with all our tech and the fact that we can connect with everybody online, in person still works really well, huh?
I think that's going to accelerate because we're only online. This morning I was seeing some robots that are being controlled by people at the other side of the world, right? So those people are going to be in their box for 6 or 8 or 12 hours per day, and they will only want to have human contact at the end of the day.
Seriously, I think people getting tired too, right, of the online experience. And I'm seeing old school things coming back. I don't know if you have seen some of the younger generation are getting dumb phones. They're going analog. They're getting the old school wired telephones. And I'm like, what is going on, man? That's really wild. Well, thank you so much for your time, Julien. I really appreciate it. I will let you know once all of this is ready to be published. And for everyone else that's listening in, to connect with Julien, his WhatsApp, and his team, I'll send all the details in the show notes. Have a great day, Julien. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Have a great day.
That's a wrap on this episode of How Our Tools Shape Us. Big thanks to Julian Gadea for sharing his journey, his stack, and his sharp take on where AI and sales are headed. If you're not already thinking about MCP, well, now you have no excuse. New episodes dropping regularly, so make sure you follow along and subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation.